Welcome to Cool Talk. On February 28th, the Academy Awards will give out the Oscars, and I'm going to give you my choices and my predictions on who will win. Now, I already gave my view in a previous video about the lack of diversity. This video is not about that. Let's talk about the nominations. But before I get to the major awards, look at this. John Williams composed the musical score to Star Wars The Force Awakens. It is his 50th nomination. 50. He's won 6. And Ennio Morricone, who has never won an Oscar despite doing the musical score for over 500 TV shows and movies, is nominated again. I hope he wins. He's 87. But let's go to the major awards. First category, Best Actress. The nominees are Brie Larson for Room, Saoirse Ronan for Brooklyn, Jennifer Lawrence for Joy, Cate Blanchett for Carol, and Charlotte Rampling for 45 Years. And now, nominations for Best Supporting Actress. Rooney Mara for Carol, Rachel McAdams for Spotlight, Kate Winslet for Steve Jobs, Jennifer Jason Leigh for The Hateful Eight, and Alicia Vikander for The Danish Girl. And now, everybody, nominations for Best Actor. The nominees are Leonardo Dicaprio for The Revenant, Michael Fassbender for Steve Jobs, Matt Damon for The Martian, Bryan Cranston for Trumbo, and Eddie Redmayne for The Danish Girl. The best supporting actors are Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies, Mark Ruffalo for Spotlight, Christian Bale for The Big Short, Tom Hardy for The Revenant, and Sylvester Stallone for Creed. Nominations for Best Director are George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road, Lenny Abramson for Room, Adam McKay for The Big Short, Alejandro González Iñárritu for The Revenant, and Tom McCarthy for Spotlight. And now the nominations for Best Picture, the big one. The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, Room, The Revenant, and Spotlight. Let's discuss all these nominees. Starting with Best Actress and Brie Larson. She gave a gritty performance, a strong, scared, confused woman often at a loss. She showed the vulnerability of a loving mother who still reflects the teenager, not given the chance to mature, and suffering abduction, incarceration, and rape. She's in over her head and she knows it. Great work. Saoirse Ronan in Brooklyn shows the sorrow of a young homesick immigrant who falls in love in New York City. Ronan has an openness to her face, an authenticity. She was nominated once before in Atonement when she was only 13 years old. She's nominated again, and this could be her year. Cate Blanchett in Carol plays a bored, rich wife in the 1950s who bonds with a young store clerk. Blanchett is always good. Nominated 6 times, has won twice for Blue Jasmine and The Aviator. Could she win again? I don't think so. The Academy is going to pass this on to somebody else. Jennifer Lawrence in Joy has a natural openness that lets you read her emotions on her face. As a struggling mother with a dysfunctional family and dreams of making it big, we can all relate. Now, it's her 4th nomination. She's won once before for Silver Linings Playbook. To win again, she'll have to be more versatile and step away from her comfort zone. This is not her year. Charlotte Rampling in 45 Years. At 70 years old, she's the oldest nominee. Playing a woman about to celebrate her 45th wedding anniversary, she learns some news that makes her reassess both her marriage and the man she thought she knew. Charlotte reflects despair and a frightening message that the people that we love, we don't really know them. This is a nice cap to her long career, but that's all she's going to get. So, who will win? My personal choice and my prediction is Brie Larson, but Cherie Ronan in Brooklyn may have a strong chance. In the category of Best Supporting Actress, Kate Winslet in the film Steve Jobs stands up to her boss, both in his personal life and work-wise. She amazes us once again, changing her accent, standing toe-to-toe with Michael Fassbender. She's won before. Can she win again? Her 7th nomination? She could surprise us. Jennifer Jason Leigh in The Hateful Eight. She plays a dangerous criminal in the Old West who is both a victim of beatings and the manipulator of those around her. I've always liked Jennifer, but as I mentioned before, the nastiness of the movie undermines her performance. I don't think she's going to take home the gold. In The Danish Girl, Alicia Vikander plays an early 20th century artist who witnesses her husband evolve into a transgendered male who wants to have a sex change operation. Now, the film plays it safe, but Alicia gives a soulful performance. This year she also appeared in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and had a strong performance in Ex Machina. It's been quite a year for her. She could bring home the gold very easily. Rooney Mara plays a store clerk who develops a relationship with an older woman. Now, Rooney was actually a lead in this film, and this could help her chances, giving her more exposure time. But the movie wasn't seen by that many people, so she'll have to weigh her chances. In Spotlight, Rachel McAdams played the professional yet compassionate reporter as she uncovers the child abuse cases of the Catholic Church in 2000. Mattered, yet bouncing off the energy of all those around her. It was a very composed, subtle, but very good performance. So, my choice, Kate Winslet. But my prediction, Alicia Vikander. And now on to Best Supporting Actor. The nominees are... In Bridge of Spies, Michael Ryland personifies the world-weary spy with the weight of wisdom on his shoulders and how the world works. In this spy movie set in the Cold War, a stage actor, Ryland shines. In the movie Spotlight, Mark Ruffalo provides the heart in a film that left me a bit cold. He provides a passionate outrage that the movie could have used more of. Now, he's been nominated twice before. Will he win? It could be his year. Tom Hardy is the evil frontiersman in The Revenant. When it's kill or be killed, he doesn't hesitate. Donning an 1870s deep woods accent, he was mesmerizing. And appearing in Mad Max this year, he's been quite busy. In The Big Short, Christian Bale, the eccentric stock analyst, he predicts the real estate bubble would burst in 2008 and bets against the market for a quick buck. Now, Bale has won before, and he impresses here as well, but he's confined to a room most of the time, and he's mostly alone. There's not much for him to do here. In Creed, Sylvester Stallone plays Rocky Balboa, former fighter facing mortality and spreading wisdom and living vicariously through his apprentice Adonis Creed. Stallone created this character 40 years ago, but rather than be the invisible fighter, this time he shows the vulnerability of an older man running out of time. Subtle, nuance, a great departure from the action films that he's made before. He's my personal choice and my prediction to win. Nominees for Best Actor in a Leading Role? They are Leonardo Dicaprio plays an 1870 fur trapper who, after being attacked by a bear, is left for dead. His thirst for revenge keeps him going. Now, Dicaprio acted in freezing temperatures, even eating raw meat, suffering for this role. It was a wordless but nevertheless communicative physical performance. He is the man to beat. In Steve Jobs, Fassbender plays the computer business whiz, who is his own #1 fan. He's estranged from his daughter, who he initially denies is even his. He's a complete jerk who ultimately never achieves more than a tentative redemption. But Fassbender is great. In The Martian, Matt Damon plays an astronaut stranded alone on Mars. He's like the Tom Hanks character in Castaway, but with a lot more optimism. Matt Damon commands the screen. In Trumbo, Bryan Cranston plays the blacklisted screenwriter Dalton Trumbo. Now, Cranston has a natural charm, and he's good, but except for some new mannerism, he's not doing anything special here. Now, I like Cranston, and I loved him in Breaking Bad, but I'm a little surprised at this nomination. In The Danish Girl, Eddie Redmayne plays a transgendered man/woman who in the early 20th century is looking for a sex change operation. Now, he is always impressive. Now, he won just last year in The History of Everything, playing Stephen Hawkins. It might be too soon to give him another Oscar, and his performance here is a little too mannered. I don't think he's going to get it back-to-back, but you never know. So, my personal favorite and an easy prediction, Leonardo Dicaprio in The Revenant. This is Leo's year. After so many nominations, believe me, he is due. Okay, Best Director. Now things are starting to get a little bit more difficult. I think this year they're going to split Best Picture and Best Director. Best Director could be George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road, and Best Picture may go to Alejandro Iñárritu. I think because he won last year, he may not pick up this Best Director this year. So my prediction, and actually my personal favorite, George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road. And now Best Picture, and boy, this one is hard. First runner-up is The Big Short. Now, movies about con artists are fun to watch. For example, The Sting or Catch Me If You Can. But when the victim is the American people, it's not fun to watch. The movie hints at this as Steve Carell and Brad Pitt express remorse about their actions. And the film does explain world economics and the intrinsic, complicated maneuverings of the real estate world. They do this very well, but it's not always a fun ride. Now, the film Brooklyn is a nostalgic dose and a very sweet romance, and we can use sweetness sometimes. However, the real treat is Saoirse Ronan, her performance, and she takes us along for this ride. Other than that, however, I don't think this is a movie I'll remember years from now. Now, Bridge of Spies hits all the right notes. It's professionally done. It's a very good movie, but it was directed by Steven Spielberg, and he's done better. He wasn't even nominated this year. It's been a while since he's given us something with the passion of Saving Private Ryan or Schindler's List. It's a solid film, but not much more. Mad Max Fury Road was an exhilarating experience, one of the best action films ever made. Unfortunately, the Oscars don't give a lot of respect to action films. It was visually awesome, but it's also about the things that were not said. The movie is not talky, but there's a lot going on here. It's a post-apocalyptic world where tyrants rise to control the people by controlling the natural resources. New religions come out of the ashes. Eugenics, sex slavery, environmentalism, feminism, and a great performance by Charlize Theron. Revolution, it's all there. Check it out. The Martian was a wonderful experience. When director Ridley Scott gets it right, he is unsurpassed. Yet, like Steven Spielberg, Ridley Scott is not nominated this year. Could this hurt his chances? Maybe. But he didn't win for directing Gladiator back in 2000, and the movie won, so perhaps it could happen again. Now, The Revenant is a great film. A little long and meandering at times, but wonderful choreography and very well acted. Filmed in natural light. Now, the director, Alejandro Iñárritu, won just last year Best Director and Best Picture for Birdman. So I think he may not be able to do it again. Will they give it to him back-to-back? We'll have to wait and see. Next up, Room. Great performance by Brie Larson, and I should mention the child actor Jacob Tremblay. And also Joan Allen as the mother. Very well directed, but I think the nomination will be its only honor. Spotlight. A play about the Catholic Church and the pedophile scandal. I heard so much about it that when I finally saw it, it left me cold. I know that the approach was journalistic and to avoid sensationalism, but for me the movie lacks some passion. But it's winning up awards in the film festivals. So, prediction. This is tough. It's a real horse race. Originally, I felt that Alejandro Iñárritu was so honored last year that this year's award would go to The Martian. But even though it's not my personal favorite, it was one of the most entertainings of the bunch. You see, lately, Spotlight and The Big Score are picking up several awards at several festivals. They could surprise you. I sure hope not. They're not on my list. But anyway, my personal favorite is Mad Max Fury Road, a movie unlike anything that I've ever seen. But my prediction is going to go to The Revenant. Great choreography, and Leonardo DiCaprio is going to finally pick up that Oscar. But anyway, go to Oscar.com so you can participate in a contest and win some prizes. But of course, first you have to beat me. In the meantime, February 28th, the Oscars. Let's see how well I do. This is Cool Talk.